What happens next reveals why she came. The young woman stood unusually close to the pastor, but instead of panicking, he raised his hand. "Stop! In the name of Jesus Christ!" She froze. Only minutes earlier, she had walked into his office and calmly introduced herself as Beauty. But the pastor was beginning to realize that this was no ordinary counseling visit. And outside the office, Eno-Obong waited, completely unaware that before her turn came, two very different battles would unfold behind that door. This is Her Mountain. Act 2, Chapter 8, The Battle Within. Before Eno-Obong arrived at the pastor's office that day, two young ladies had already gone in ahead of her. The first introduced herself with a calm, almost calculated smile. "My name is Beauty." She was indeed beautiful, but there was something else, something hidden beneath the surface. From the moment she stepped into the office, the atmosphere shifted. The pastor sensed it immediately. As she greeted him, he quietly began to pray within himself, placing what he often described as an invisible guard over the room. When he asked her to sit, she refused. Instead, she moved closer, too close. Her eyes locked onto his, and without invitation, she leaned forward, her actions no longer subtle, her intentions no longer hidden. It was clear now. This was not ordinary. This was an attack. The pastor lifted his hand sharply and spoke with authority. "Stop! In the name of Jesus Christ!" Instantly, she froze. Her body stiffened. She could not move. Then, with unwavering boldness, the pastor declared, "I have been given authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm me." Luke 10:19. The words filled the room like fire. At once, the resistance began. The girl's face twisted. Her calm expression shattered into something darker, something exposed. Sensing the intensity of the moment, the pastor quickly called for his wife and the prayer team, who were already interceding in the adjoining room. They rushed in. The atmosphere thickened. The girl suddenly struggled, attempting to break free, but the prayer team restrained her before she could escape. Then the pastor spoke again, stronger this time. "For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil." 1 John 3:8. At that declaration, she collapsed. Her body hit the ground with force and began to writhe violently, twisting and hissing like a serpent. It was no longer hidden. Whatever was inside her had taken full control. It was a battle, a real one. The demons resisted fiercely, speaking through her with defiance. "She is ours! We will not let her go!" But the pastor did not retreat. He stood firm, praying relentlessly, commanding every unclean spirit to leave. The prayer team pressed in, their voices rising in agreement. The pastor's wife quickly covered the girl with a wrapper to preserve her dignity as the struggle intensified. The room was charged with spiritual authority. Minute after minute, the resistance weakened. The shouting turned to groaning. The struggle slowed, until finally, there was a break, a release. Silence fell. Victory had come. Without lingering, the pastor steadied himself and said, "Next." That was when Edidiong stepped forward. Unlike the first girl, there was no strange boldness in her, only visible distress. The pastor recognized her immediately. She was one of the new converts in the church. "Sit down," he said gently. "Tell me what is wrong." At those words, Edidiong broke down in tears, but what she began to describe was not what anyone expected. This was not a hidden spiritual manipulation like the first. This was something else, something physical, something happening to her in the open. Her voice trembled as she spoke, fear, pain, and confusion evident in every word. The kind of suffering that could be seen, yet not easily explained. She had given her life to Christ, and since then, her life had not been the same. The pastor listened carefully, his expression growing more serious with each word. This case was different. Outside, Eno-Obong still waited, unaware that inside that room, two battles had already taken place, one spiritual, one physical, and hers was yet to begin.